Live from the basement of a Pentagon. This is W.T.F. Nation Radio.
Just running from the pain in my heart. Into the arms of another, and for a while she made me feel alright. But in a crazy blunder, your love took me back under. Now I'm tied to those shackles and chains. Said don't cry for me, stars. I love you and I want you, and you'll always draw me near. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. 10 years' time it took me to unwind, and now I'm right back from where it began. How old will I be when you finally set me free, and the sun shines on my heart again? Said don't cry for me, sweet Annalie. You know you're the keeper of my stars. I love you and I want you, and you'll always near. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart. I'm just running from the pain in my heart.
Come on out, 1965, them boys were called upon. Some fist fighting cowboys in them jungles of Vietnam. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Yeah, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. 19 years old, doing the bidding for Uncle Sam. Desert boots strapped on my feet, machine gun in my head. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Y'all, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. Come on now. Strapped across my vest, 800 more, and I'm gonna pluck one in your chest. I'm an airborne man, baby. Drop me anywhere you please. Y'all, I'm one mean motherfucker. Don't you never double cross me. Oh, 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 I'm a mean motherfucker. Don't you never. I'm a mean motherfucker. So don't you never double cross me.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Oh, shit. I'm back. Internet should be working. Everything should be up. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry for missing last week. I tweaked my back and had to go in and they did some imaging and gave me some shots. So, anybody who's ever had an injured back kind of knows how much that sucks. So I hope I didn't upset anybody for not being here, but back this week. I should be back for a little bit, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna take any time off between now and Christmas or not. I guess we're gonna see. As soon as I say I'm back forever, something will happen. But next week I got some shots for my knee again, but yeah, just the medical stuff, man. Everyone's just fighting all this shit, right? It's like it's a never-ending fucking cause when you get to be old. And I think when you're I hate the fucking term disabled because I don't feel like I'm disabled, right? And I'll start out with that Washington Post shit. Last week there was a dude went up to Congress, started talking about shit. And the Washington Post has been sharing a bunch of shit about basically veterans scamming the system, and I don't. Kind of wanted to start out with that tonight because I think I think there's a lot. I'm not saying there's nothing to that. Okay, and I'm not saying that some veterans keep fighting for 100%, even though it's not really. I don't think they're 100% disabled. Now that being said, anybody who's ever went through the VA process. Anybody who has ever went through the VA process knows how hard it is to get even like 60%. And so when you have people who go in front of Congress that what I feel blatantly lied to Congress about veterans benefits and the quote unquote scamming the system. What's up, David? Nice to have you here back. And good to be back, buddy. David Cunningham, I want your opinion on this too, because I know that you've had your struggles with the VA. But I feel like not everyone's 100% disabled. I understand that. Not just because you went in the military and got it doesn't mean you're 100% disabled. I'm not trying to say that, but I think that the vetting process is pretty difficult. I'm not saying there's not things to fake, and I'm not saying that people don't claim probably more than they should. And there are things, that dude brought up hypertension, that most adults as they age, develop high blood pressure. I'm service connected for hypertension, me personally. And I have been since I was 27 years old. When I was 27 years old, just got back from Iraq for my second tour. And was diagnosed with hypertension. So when you have otherwise perfectly healthy people and they are now injured or develop problems well before their time. I'm not saying I wouldn't have developed high blood pressure over the course of my life. Not saying that. But to have high blood pressure when you're 27 and in good shape, that's very uncommon. Not uncommon for veterans. That's just uncommon for people. veterans don't seem to have a problem doing that because we're exposed to all sorts of chemicals and problems and carcinogens. The rate of cancer and all of these things, these, diabetes and these rates are proportionally higher in veterans due to the stuff that they're exposed to. Yeah, and I want to, that's my next point. David says, it seems like as the years have gone by, my injuries have gotten worse. And to me, that's one, to be expected, but two, I feel like I'm trying to figure out like a way to say this without pissing people off. I feel like VA compensation, disability compensation, isn't because you are disabled. You are not to the point where you can't work. I'm not saying that there are not people who are so disabled they can't work. I'm not saying that. But like for me, for example, I can't work in the jobs that most physically able people can. Okay? And so, and directly as a result of the injuries I sustained whilst in the service. Now, what I look at VA disability compensation for is basically a payment to shut you up. Right? Because if I will go with me, for example, just me. If I would not have got injured in the military, not saying I wouldn't have got injured doing something else, because I've done dumb shit in my life, right? I used to ride mountain bikes, ride motorcycles, I do all kinds of dumb shit, right? And I work through that stuff. Some of that stuff I do because of my injuries, but most of it, I've always done physical labor, and not saying I couldn't hurt my back or my knee or doing something like that, fucking jumping off a piece of equipment or coming out of a truck wrong or something like that. That's not it. I'm not saying that. But it happened while I was deployed, while I was in Iraq. And that injury, as a result, when I was 27 years old, could no longer do the things that 27-year-olds could do, and no longer do the things that I could do previous to that. And so my quality of life has suffered because of those injuries, right? And so I see that compensation as a way that the government tries to shut me up from saying, okay, well, here you go. Since you can't walk right, since you are 40 years old with a fake knee, here, we're going to give you something for that. There you go. Thank you. And looking at things like the cancer rates amongst global war on terror people, right? The Gulf War cancers and shit. In my battery of 200 guys, like, to my knowledge now, 8 of us, not me, 8 people in my battery have now passed away from like weird fucking cancers. So when something like the PACT Act comes and they're like, hey, yeah, if you get these, we're going to give you cancer screenings and we're going to try to take care of you and we're going to try to do these things. That's what the VA is supposed to do. And then you have people coming from the Washington Post bashing veterans, saying that, that these veterans are defrauding VA's honor system. That's what they're saying. And that's when people read that, they don't see the struggle that some of us deal with, whether it be from mental health issues or whatever. Now, I will say in these articles, they are saying that we need to focus on things like rehabilitation. And I agree with that. I agree that there needs to be more rehabilitation programs. I think VRNE is a good program, but I think it is limited in its scope. I think there needs to be more programs that work on mental health and work on, I'm not saying that the program is all good and doesn't need fixed, because I think all of us can sit here and say the VA needs help and needs to be fixed, and they are on that. But I think to say that if you get VA disability, you're a fucking deadbeat, that's not true at all. And do I think that I'm curious, I'm sure, I think we all know people, we all know that veteran who keeps pushing to get 100% P&T for next to nothing. And I know for every veteran I know that is trying super, super hard to get 100%. I know 20 who are at 0 and have never been seen by the VA because they think that they don't deserve it, or they think that somehow their service wasn't compensatory, or they think that their injuries caused during service or just whatever. I know a ton of guys. I think we all do. We all know those soldiers who are battling depression and mental health issues and alcoholism or other addictions that are caused more than likely by their service, and seek no help and get no help, and they struggle alone. And I think that when we have people who sit in front of Congress or write op-eds for the Washington Post or for whoever, that discourages those guys and gals who otherwise would need the help and deserve the help and rate the help from getting the help. I have never seen any VA program and thought that's a handout. The VA is pretty good about giving hand ups. And I can't believe that in this day and age, we have people who are still, like, after watching what happened to the Vietnam veterans and the Agent Orange exposure and all that, and for decades, those guys got nothing. The Gulf War dudes who came back with Gulf War syndrome and have all kinds of weird fucking health conditions. And we just fucking, yep. And it took a couple of people to really push some things through Congress to get things like the PACT Act figured out. And now there's people in politics who want to remove that. And that, to me, I'm not saying that veterans should be questioned, that somehow because you identify as a veteran that you're put on some golden fucking pedestal and should be showered with fucking money and gifts. I'm not saying that. But I do think that we need to really take a stern look at these people who intentionally or unintentionally want to stop veterans from getting the help that they need. I think we really need to be cautious of that, because in 2 or 3 years, these same motherfuckers are going to be like, I love the veterans and they look at what I do, and they fly a flag from their pickup and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be asking for our votes, and they're going to want us in their fucking parades and standing there at their fucking rallies and all that other bullshit. And they're going to want they love fucking disabled veterans, dude. They fucking love disabled veterans when it's time to get fucking elected. Right? If you had a fucking graphite leg or whatever, a carbon fiber leg, and you stand there in your uniform with your fucking pants tucked into your fucking prosthetic, they'd love you. They'd put you front and center on that fucking stage. They'd fucking put you front. Look what I do for the veterans, they say. Every fucking politician does it, man. Both sides. And then 6 months later, 9 months later, after they're sworn in, then they start fucking trying to take chunks out of the VA. I think that the biggest problem I have with all of that is when people have a complaint and not have a resolution. Hey, is this live? Hey, Heath, what's going on? I was wondering if you guys would show up. Hi, Spanky. Dave said most of Ninja Chronic. Yeah, dude. I think most of ours are, dude. David, do you think that you would have those injuries if you would not have served? That dude, I don't even remember his name. I don't even want to say it if I could remember it. He was a fucking putz. But that dude got blowed up in Iraq or Afghanistan, lost a leg, fucking all kinds of shit. And he was up there, when we cut fucking veterans benefits for these guys. Basically, what he was saying is if you didn't have a Purple Heart, that you didn't deserve any shit. What is this, y'all? What's up, B-dubs? We're bullshitting about the VA tonight. Talking shit about the VA. So come on in and talk some shit about the VA. I don't know. I don't know if there's a good. I don't know that VA disability compensation is something that is ever going to be 100%. I don't know if any disability compensation is going to be 100%. Whether that be SNAP benefits or whether that be fucking Social Security disability, I don't think any of it's ever going to be fucking perfect. I think that's naive to think it could be or would be or should be. I don't think it's ever going to be. Whenever there's a system, there's going to be people who defraud it. Period. One of my best friends in the world, he's 100% P&T. And he was surprised. So if you're 100% and you get prescribed, so this is how it went down for him. Is he's on a bunch of meds. Like a lot of people, if you go to the VA, you get and if you want, they'll give you all the fucking meds you can handle. And he's on a bunch of these meds for hypertension, and he had a cancer scare. He's got some cancer he's taking care of, whatever. And with that, this shit don't work. He's like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, he just got married a couple years ago, and he's like, my wife's kind of mad, but shit ain't working. I'm like, you're taking this pill, this pill, this pill. Yeah. I'm like, oh, fucking do that. I'll fuck your shit up. So he got diagnosed with ED from all these meds he's on, his cancer meds and shit. So the VA gives him some dick pills, right? And he didn't realize that you get extra money if you get dick pills. He's like, if I'd known that, I'd fucking done this shit years ago. I was like, yeah, dude, sorry about it. I went to the Wounded Warrior Project Veteran Services. They were amazing. Yes, absolutely. The Wounded Warrior Project, and here, I struggle to think of a veteran service organization, whether it be the VA, whether it be the DAV or the Marine Corps League or the Vets Foreign Wars, the Legion. Like, there's all different kinds of, like, there's like a Navy fast boat, fucking whatever. There's all kinds of shit. There's all kinds of places like that have VSOs. He said I had a girlfriend that said, fuck me like the VA did, and I was immediately aroused. Yes. But anyway, so there's all these veteran service organizations, and these people are there because they want to help veterans, right? You are not going to volunteer your time for the VFW or for the Legion or for the Disabled American Veterans or the Purple Heart Society, not the Purple Heart Society, what's that called? A Marine Corps League. I don't remember what that fucking one for the Purple Heart is. But they are all veterans. You don't even have to, okay, Disabled American Veterans, right? I know one of the gals around here, the job I used to have, I did a lot of work with the DAV. And the gal there, she's a volunteer, and she is their VSO. And she might get a small stipend, like a travel stipend when she goes to these events or whatever. But I mean, she's a volunteer. She might get like $125 to drive 300 miles to go to this thing and come back for the day. You know what I mean? She's not fucking well paid. But her and I were talking about like the trainings they get and all that stuff, and you don't even have to be a member of the Disabled American Veterans. If you go to the VFW or the Legion or any of these places and say, I am a veteran, and you show your DD 214 and say, I have these issues and I need help filing for a claim, they will help you. No questions asked. They don't charge you anything. They don't do any. There are places that charge. There are lawyers and I think those places, I would never recommend any of those places to people, but people use them and they take a pretty good substantial chunk of your VA disability claim. Oh, that PD 680. They have the parts cleaner. naphtha, toluene, aircraft cleaner, hydrochloric acid. Yeah, that triple nickel transmission fluid. Did you guys use that? The triple nickel stuff? That was our tranny fluid. That stuff was nasty, dude. That shit would like burn through. That shit would burn through like plastic. That was still in metal cans because it would burn through plastic, and that's what we use for transmission fluid. Yeah. God, the PD680 parts cleaner. I remember fucking cleaning bearings in tire shop and that stuff. No gloves. No fucking, your hands getting numb. Your hands would get numb. That and the paint stripper shit. Yeah, that stuff was nasty, dude. That baby shit looking paint stripper for cleaning wheels. Ugh. Ah, we would work on that shit. I remember cleaning bearings that was my first job as an airframer. I got put into this tire shop at Mouse 36. Fucking cleaning bearings and building wheels, man. Changing tires, building wheels, and fucking, yeah. I was like a PFC, and they're like, hey Radar, go clean bearings all fucking day in that fucking parts cleaner, that PD680. Fucking hands just numb from that solvent, dude. Yeah. I remember being at CAX and we had that triple nickel underneath. They had these awnings for putting our hazmat in. And that the birds, it would burn through plastic. And then the birds, like, must have thought the ravens out at 29 Palms, like, ripped the fucking deals off the cardboard. They ripped the cardboard off the top and found the metal cans and, like, punched holes in the top of the metal cans and drank, I don't know, probably half a can of this shit. Oh, that baby syrup paint. Yeah, baby shit paint syrup. But, like, we found a bunch of dead fucking ravens, like, too late. Like, oh, fuck, drink that shit no more. Yeah, use degreaser, made my fingernails fall off. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, PD680, dude, my hands would be like chalky. It would suck all the moisture out of your hands, and then it'd make your fingers numb and throb. I remember the first time. The first week. By the end of the week, I would go out. So our airframe shop was like 8-shaped. And in the middle was like our conference room and shit like that, our break room and everything. And then on the outside, on the west side of the building, that's where the smoke pit was. And I went out there to smoke, and it was right outside of the tire shop. And my hands were so numb from cleaning parts in that PD680 that I couldn't like hold a cigarette to smoke. My hands were so fucking numb, I didn't even know if it was in my hands or not. Yeah, but we don't need the PACT Act. We don't need like the hazardous chemical exposure. We don't need to fucking chart any of that shit. Nah, dude, you guys are good. Because that was like the late 90s, dude. You didn't fucking say shit. Fucking PPE. What's that, dude? You had like, I remember like we had on the wall, you had like the PPE board on the wall, and it had 2 fucking face shields that were so scratched up you couldn't see out of them. And like rubber aprons that were like cobwebbed and shit. Nobody ever wore that shit. Nobody wore we had steel toe boots. That was all the PPE we had. Because we're changing wheels, we're changing tires for like F-18s and C-130s and fucking 46s and 53s. And you're changing all these tires. No one give a fuck, dude. You didn't wear gloves to fucking pack bearings or clean stuff in the parts washer. You just did it. And so I think of all the stuff that we did. I think of all the stuff that we did in the 90s and early 2000s, 99 to 2000s. But you think about that shit, dude, and even the shit they do now, right? That shit's still not. I'm not saying people don't use PPE now, but do you use it like you're fucking supposed to? But like think of those dudes back in like Vietnam, man. They never used any of that shit, dude. They were like doing shots of Ancient Orange and shit. Think about how much people fuck around now. Think about how much Joes fuck around with shit, right? I have seen fucking dudes drop trowel and fucking put their bare ass and sack on a fire ant pile for a fucking $5 bet. You want to tell me them dudes in fucking Vietnam weren't spraying each other with fucking Agent Orange and shit for fucking shits and giggles, dude. Yeah, taking fuel. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuel samples. Fuck that. Doing patch tests. Yeah, dude. I had fucking boots that you couldn't. They were so soaked in fucking JP you couldn't even shine them. So, what's up, Rego? What's going on, man? I just can't, man. I just can't imagine anybody could look at that kind of shit if they had any fucking sort of idea the shit that, and like I said, that was stateside. And then you get downrange and all the shit that you know, fucking change the oil in the fucking desert, dude. Just, you know what I mean? There's no fucking PP for that shit. Don't fucking do anything. Okay, man. That just really rots my goat when they take people like that. That, like I said, do I think that sometimes people get a fucking, yeah, absolutely, dude. I think there are absolutely fucking people who are taking the piss of the VA. And there are people on the internet who tell you how to cheat the system to an extent. There are certain claims. If you look at the, I don't even remember what the title of the thing is now. I used to know. But the manual, the VA has a manual. Okay, and we'll go. I'll say we'll go to hypertension. Go back to hypertension. We keep saying hypertension, high blood pressure. If your blood pressure is between this number and this number, you get 0%. If it's between this number and this number, or you take a full-time medication, it's 10%. If it's between this number and this number, it's 30%. If it's between this number and this number, it's 50%. But if to get 50% for high blood pressure, you basically got to have a fucking stroke. Right? It's a fucking astronomical number to get to where you'd be 50% disabled. So, I mean, and it's the same with like sleep apnea. Sleep apnea, but anybody who's tried to tie sleep apnea as a secondary to a service related condition because basically unless you get diagnosed in the service with sleep apnea, you're not going to get sleep apnea. But if you get sleep apnea, if you get a service center for sleep apnea, it's like 50%. If you get taken for yeah. Jonathan says I never understood the rating system. It's weird. Yeah, dude, and the percentage is weird. Once you kind of figure it out, it's not so hard. But the percentage system is fucking weird, and because it doesn't make sense. But essentially, what it is, okay, say they take your top percentage and then they work your way down. So if you're at 70, say you get 70% for mental health, okay, so that means you're still 30% able, 70% disabled, 30% able, and then you get 50% for hypertension or 50% for sleep apnea, okay. So instead of being another 50% plus 70%, it's 15%. You get half. You're 50% of that remaining 30, and then you get 10% for hypertension and 10% for tinnitus and 10%. It just keeps chipping away at that. So it take of your 15% you're still able, 10% it takes off 10% of that 15 and so on until you get to 95 that rounds to 100. Is basically the easiest way to do it. What's up, Corey? How you doing, buddy? But yeah, I think it's fucking stupid, Jonathan. I think it's stupid the way they set that up. I think they should just have it to where this is what I think they should do. This is what Radar thinks they should do. Okay, and it's in no way in any way based in any sort of fact or anything. I think what they should do is assign lower numbers. Okay. And have certain things that are extraordinary. Okay. We'll say mental health. Okay. most people that have PTSD or depression or anything like that, and it all gets lumped into mental health. Okay. Most people rate between 60 and 70 per 60 and or 50 and like 70%, right? I think they should do from like 20 to 30. But then you get say 30% for your back, and it makes it 60. And then 10% for your knee makes it 70. Instead of getting you see what I mean? Like if they drop the percentages down but just add it together. Oh, it's fucked up. Yeah, dude, it's fucked up. The whole system's fucked. I'm not saying it's not. And it is really misunderstood. And it's really hard to explain. And you almost have to be like a fucking mathematician to really figure it out. And here's I will say this. You will find dudes who are fucking experts at figuring out the mathematics and everything else behind it. I'm not unversed in it, but I'm not like great at it. Now, what we really, really need is to simplify that system. And here's what I think they really need to do with that as well is I'm not saying push that, but anybody who's been through like the Wounded Warrior program or the AW2 or medically retired, medically separated, anything like that, they get a really good education on that. But the average dude who just DD 214's out, that average Joe doesn't really get a whole lot of education on that. At least it did when I was fucking in. Maybe they're better about it now. But like we were just talking about, like David Cunningham, we're just talking about there's all these things that, all these carcinogens that we bathed in, essentially, right? There's no like, I'm not saying there's no presumptive for some of that, but there should be. If you have some of these MOSs that deal a lot with hazardous materials, there should be some presumptive stuff that comes from that. And it doesn't have to be presumptive right when you get out either. It can be like, okay, well, if you're bathing in carcinogens for the 6 years you're an aircraft mechanic, right? Or a light wheel mechanic or a tank mechanic or some shit, you should be fucking, you know what I mean? If you're a paratrooper, you should be fucking presumptive for your knees. If you have all these issues, you should be presumptive for some of these things due to your MOS. Because some of these shits takes a long time to show up in your, in your life. And I think that that's where the PACT Act was trying to alleviate some of that. It was trying to alleviate people like Dave Cunningham, who had, as an aircraft mechanic, got exposed to all kinds of shit. Can I get 10%? Yes, but that too. That's what I mean. Okay, so I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore. I used to. Every fucking day, I cough up a hunk of shit that's about the size. It's bigger than a dime, smaller than a nickel. Every fucking day, I cough up this shit. Right? When I first brought this up, I still smoked, and they're like, "Oh, it's because you smoke. You cough up this shit because you smoke. You go quit smoking." Okay, quit smoking. And they're like, well, it's because you quit smoking. They're going to cough this shit up for a while. Okay. It's been fucking 6 years since I quit smoking. 6 years since I quit. Still, daily, 2-3 times a day, I cough up a big fucking hunk of shit. And they're like, oh, well, it's fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. You're supposed to do that. Everyone does that. No, people don't do that, dude. Not everyone coughs up fucking giant hunks of shit every day. They did a chest x-ray. Everything looks fine. You should be fine. You don't have pneumonia. I never said I had pneumonia. Why am I coughing up shit? You don't know. All right. So I probably have fucking lung cancer or some shit. And maybe it's from smoking. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Yeah. But the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, Hey, what could have been the fucking dust and all that shit from Iraq? Did you get burn certified? I'm on the list. I'm on the registry. My base is on it. But I didn't even get fucking died. Every time I go to the fucking VA, they don't even diagnose me. They're like, "You're fine, don't worry about it." All right. Cool. But okay, so when I have a knee replacement, how many replaced a year ago? Almost a year ago to the day. And my lower part of my leg has been numb, like asleep, for almost the whole time. And it finally took me going to a civilian doc like last week, and he's like, "Oh," he pushed my knee a couple spots. It hurt here, and it fucking hurts right there. He's like, "Push hurt right here." Yep. Oh yeah, you have this whatever radiocoply fucking whatever he says. I can give you a couple shots. It'll fix it. Probably fix it. 50-50 chance. Tight. But like my physical therapist at the VA, my fucking doctor at the VA, everyone I talked to at the VA was like, we don't fucking know, dude. This is fucked. Yeah, we all got the crud, dude. Yeah, absolutely. You know who doesn't have the crud? My fucking wife who never deployed. You know what I mean? My wife smells like a fucking freight train. She never got this shit. That's fucking, it's crazy, dude. But it's fine. It's fine. The VA says it's fine. Yeah, so when I hear someone fucking get up in front of Congress and say, "Yep, everything's fine. Everything's cool. Don't worry about it." That's when I fucking worry about it, dude. I don't know about you guys, but whenever somebody at the VA or in fucking politics says, "Don't worry about it," that's when I fucking worry about it. And that's when shit gets fucked. Fuck it. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm just gonna die anyway. So yeah, my youngest kid is 9. I have 9 years. She can graduate. I can fucking be dead. I ain't worried about it then. As long as it's got to last 9 years. That's it. Anything after that's a fucking bonus. So, anyway. But yeah, dude, I just don't get it. I know I sound like a broken record. I think every veteran should get all of the help that they need. In that breath, I think everyone should get the help that they need. We live in the richest country in the fucking world. People shouldn't be hungry here. People shouldn't be in the way that they are here. That's just it. You know what I mean? Radar I'm directly concerned with veterans. My life, essentially, other than my children, everyone in my life's a veteran. So I want everyone who is a veteran to get the best health care they deserve, the best medical care or mental health care they can. Everyone should get the best whatever, but that should extend past veterans too. We should all, little kids shouldn't die from cancer in this country. You know what I mean? Fucking, there's a lot that's wrong. And a lot of people want to find ways to fix all of it. That's true. If we die from our illnesses, our wives and kids get our pension. So there's that. Yep, that's true. You serve an OEF. I did OEF and OIF. I did both of them. Neuropathy. I think that's when he told me. Is that where your nerves die? And they need to like wake him back up? Is that what that neuropathy? Neuropathy? I think so. Anyway. Yeah. I wish that in this country that we don't have to worry about fucking kids being hungry and kids being sick and fucking veterans being homeless and all that shit. We got all these fucking dudes in Washington that want to fucking nitpick over, giving people tax breaks and shit. In the meantime, there's fucking people in this country that are fucking literally hungry and dying of starvation. Veterans living under bridges and shit. That's it. I don't know. There's so much fucking wrong, and hopefully they figure it all out. Yeah, Yeah, dude. I think that's what he fucking told me. They're gonna put some shots in my knee and hopefully wake my shit up. That'd be cool. You're messing me. All right, tight. I'm not even on Facebook right now. Yeah, we do, and I will say that I will say this, Jonathan. Jonathan says, "Man, that's what kills me. And we give so much money to everything, every cause, and vets get shit on." I do. I believe that partially. I think that they are. I think that veterans now are in a better spot than they were, like when I was a kid, and like all my dad's buddies, all my dad's Vietnam vet buddies, were actually really hardcore getting the shaft. You know what I mean? Those guys were dying of all kinds of crazy shit, left, right, and center, and nobody fucking gave a shit. Most of them didn't want to tell people they were fucking Vietnam veterans. They were still in that thing. You know what I mean? So, like, that's why I'm like, we're getting it better than we used to, but fuck, man. Like, yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. It is tough. You know, and I'll say this 100%. I would much rather have my abilities to walk and do all the shit that I used to do before I was injured. I'd much rather, if you could make me, I would give every fucking penny of my pension and everything else back if you could make me whole. And until they can do that, I'm not going to fucking say shit about it. But I would much rather be able to fucking go fucking play soccer with my kids. I would much rather be able to sleep at night. But can't. Yeah. David Cunningham says, I advise anyone that has served to take their DD-214 and go down to the VA, register them, make an appointment for a full physical. Absolutely. Absolutely. Get a full physical, full workup. If you deploy downrange, make sure that you tell them that. I am an OEF veteran. I was in Iraq between 03 and 05 or whenever the fuck you were there. I was stationed at Talil Air Base, and I ran convoy escort missions from Talil to Anaconda and back in 07 and 08. If you were involved in an IED detonation or an indirect fire attack or anything like that, say that. I was, if you have any sort of injuries in your service record, if you fucking fell off a truck in the maintenance bay, if you were tensioning a track and a wrench came back and fucking you broke your arm or you broke your wrist, fucking filling sandbags, or you had your eardrums blow out, claim all that shit. Just tell them that and say you want to. If you are having problems, here's the thing. Okay. The next to monetary compensation, the best thing the VA has ever given me is hearing aids. I was kind of nervous about rocking them bitches at first, but I'm telling you right now, hearing aids are the best thing that the VA has given me next to money. 100%. I never realized how much of the world I missed not being able to hear things. It was fucking fantastic. Yeah, if you have loud noise exposure or were exposed to burn pits, tell them that. They have a registry. They have a list of bases that had those burn pits on them. Dude, I'm telling you, those fucking hearing aids are amazing, dude. Those hearing aids are fucking amazing. And I never realized how much shit that I missed until I got hearing aids. The only time I don't wear them is doing this because I can't wear them with my fucking headphones. They make a weird feedback. But from the minute I wake up, they're in a case. Mine are rechargeable, and I put them in a case. When I go to bed, I wake up before I put my fucking underwear on in the morning, I put my hearing aids in. They are the best thing that the VA has given me. I'm not sure. Most of the time it helps with tinnitus. Sometimes I still get a pretty good tinnitus attack, but for the most part it cuts that out. But being able to just hear things in my life that I couldn't before, they're amazing. They are fucking amazing. I don't wear them on my motorcycle. I don't wear them in the hot tub, and I don't wear them like in the shower. But any other time, I have my hearing aids in. They're fucking phenomenal. Yeah, I'm deaf as shit, dude. And it really, and honestly, the VA will give you all of like the little. So the ones I have are like Omnicrons or some shit. They're like, if you went to go buy them, they're like $6,000 for the set, right? They're Bluetooth. They'll hook up to your fucking phone. You can do all kinds of shit with them. You can turn them up, turn them down. You can like adjust the profiles on them. And the VA will send you all the little pieces. Like there's consumables to them, like their little ear cups you have to change every now and again. And there's like a wax guard inside you got to change. The VA gives you all that shit. If you run low, call them up. They send you a whole other fucking pack full of shit. Every year you have to go in for a hearing test. That's it. And they're awesome. They are by far the best thing that I've ever gotten. And here's the thing. If the VA could give me shit like that for my knee or for my back or for all that shit, dude, I wouldn't even fucking, I wouldn't even, if they could fix that shit for me, I wouldn't even ask for fucking money. You know what I mean? Fix my shit. But yeah, go if you, and if you have, I think they're better about, if you were like an artilleryman or a helicopter guy or some shit like that, a mechanic, I think they're getting better about service connecting that stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you are service connected for tinnitus or hearing loss, either one, they will give you free hearing aids. Yeah, the constant pain sucks, dude. I fucking hate it. I went, like, the VA gave me a pain specialist consult out in town, and they gave me some shots in my back, and that's been helping a little bit. But and they're gonna do, that's the same dude's gonna do my knee too. It's great. Yeah, whenever I'm going deaf myself, girlfriends always ask me why I turn shit up. Yeah, dude, 100%. Yeah, David, kind of exposure to bad water and asbestos from old buildings and barracks. Yeah. Yeah, the shots do wear off. They do, but I mean, if they give you a release for a little bit, fuck, I really want that one on my leg to work. We'll see. One thing, I remember this dude. There's a couple of the dudes I was in Iraq with. Remember these had those pallets of water everywhere, and you'd go fucking grab a case of water from those fucking dusty ass pallets they had outside the LAs and shit. And you'd have to take them in the fucking shitter and rinse them off. And then we bought a fridge. We had a fridge in our chew. We all pitched in and bought a fridge. No, we didn't pitch in shit. I bought that fridge. I did. I bought the fridge and a rug. Anyway, back to the story. We had a fridge in our chew, and you put we put waters in that bitch. But one of the guys he was in the other half of our chew. There was 3 of us, so we had half chews. And they swore, this dude swore that those bottles cooking out in the sun, that you'd get all a bunch of chemicals out of the plastic would absorb into the water, and it was going to make us all sick. And I was like, that's not going to make us sick, dude. But now I wonder. Now I wonder as I'm going through this shit, like if that's a thing or not. Yeah, I don't know. Guess we'll figure it out. But this is why this is what pisses me off when people go and complain about that, is because what it does is it stops that. It stops the record keeping, and it keeps people from speaking up, and they think that they're milking the system. And so I think that, these things need to be studied. There needs to be science behind it. They need to look, they need to figure out, they need to keep tracking veterans, OEF veterans, or even not even OEF veterans, people who, went to fucking Horn of Africa, because I'm sure they got exposed to the same shit. I'm sure it was the same fucking shitty water they push out the back of a C-17 or whatever. guy in my unit got stones from the water. That's what the doctor said. Yeah, dude, I believe it. I believe there's all kinds of fucking shit in there. I'm surprised more people didn't get sick. I'm trying to figure out, dude, we used to go to the DFAC and fucking KBR, dude. We would go to the DFAC. I was at Talil Air Base, and I don't know if anyone's ever been there. Camp. It was Cobb Adder for a while, then it was Talil Air Base. It was right outside of, is it outside of Diwania? No, what's the name of the fuck town? Was that? Nazaria. And we ran convoy escort missions, and we were in LA1. It was right next to the chow hall was like down the street, and then we were right across from the street from the PX. Our LA was. And we'd go to the chow hall, we'd go to the DFAC, have lunch, whatever. And by the time we didn't even make it back to our fucking choose, dude, we would get back to our LA. First place you have to go to the shitter. Fucking shit your brains out. Every fucking time we go eat at the DFAC, dude. I don't know. We wouldn't even know. Okay, well, man, I'm not gonna have a burger. I'm gonna have some fucking stir fry. Or I'm gonna have I'm just gonna eat fruit. Fucking something, dude. I would just eat salad bar and get the shits. Every time we ate at the fucking DFAC, I would get the shits so bad, dude. I see. Dude's going to get sick from water bottle. Yeah, dude, used to get sick from that fucking shits all the time when they wouldn't fucking check them. They put too much chlorine in them. Ugh. I think I was self-registered for the burn parasite. I hope you did. I really hope you did. I don't know how to check if you did though. They'll be able to check if you get on the thing. Jonathan said, what's crazy on my battle came home with this crazy fluid around his heart, and another guy, the muscles and his feet became disconnected. What? I heard. I've known a couple of guys too with like the fucking that there's like that sac around your heart and lungs and getting like an infection in there. Yeah, dude, I know a couple of guys that did that. Tell you what the fuck I got almost fucking like actually factually killed me. We were up in Anaconda in their fucking in their showers. They had these showers. It was like a shower trailer up there. When you were transient, you stay in these fucking chicken coops because you got mortared every goddamn day up there in Anaconda. And they had this like fucking, there's like a semi trailer with fucking showers in it. That was their for the transients. And it was like backed up or some shit. And I had my fucking little shower shoes and I took a fucking shower, whatever. Got back, went to my little fucking coffin rack, crashed out for the night. Got up the next morning, had some crab legs at the chow hall, fucking bounced, right? We get out on the road that night. We're on our way home. And my feet, I felt like they were on fire. And I was like, fuck. And dude, my feet would like leak. And they're like, oh, you got athlete's foot. They kept giving me fucking powder and cream and shit. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I got home. And that's after I got blown up. My fucking knee was all fucked. And I went to the doctor about for my knee. And they're like, what the fuck's wrong with your feet, dude? 'Cause my feet would leak into my socks and shit. It was so fucking gross, dude. And I was like, I don't know, my feet just do that. Been doing that for a while. They got athlete's foot. And they call a podiatrist and she's like, she was like gagging. My feet were so bad. I had a fucking staph infection. They cut off my fucking pinky toes. They cut off my fucking pinky toes. I got a staph infection taking a shower in fucking Iraq, dude. Fuck that place. Fuck that place. Yeah, we did. We gave some fucking shit. Infection of the perineum. Yeah. Yeah, your heart sac or whatever. Your organ sac. Yeah. Dude, that fucking sucked. Oh, maybe someday I'll get something cool like that. Anyway. I gotta get the fuck out of here, dude, before I'm gonna make myself sick again. Make myself sick again. Montezuma's revenge. Oh, dude. Oh. All right. One more story and then I got fucking bounced, dude. I gotta get out of here. I gotta fucking do some shit tonight. But okay, so Montezuma's revenge or whatever. We got fucking Saddam's revenge. That's what we called it. But we were in fucking I was in Iraq and we were in ASV 1117 running convoys. We had like 2 Humvees. We had 2 Humvees, 2 MRAPs, an ASV, and an LMTV was our gun trucks. And I was the truck commander, but I was gunning. And we were southbound. Yeah, we were southbound from Biop. And I got the shits fucking something fierce. That's so sick. So fucking sick, dude. And ASVs are pretty cool because you're inside your air conditioning and shit, but it's not cool when someone's got the shits because you can't stop. You can't pull over fucking on the convoy, you know, but I made my driver stop, and we had an empty 40 mic can in there, and I fucking pulled the lid off that bitch, and I opened the side, because the doors are half, the bottom pops up and the side pops out. Open the side door and fucking just let her rip, man. And I about filled that shit up, dude. So we ended up stopping like 3 times in this 40 mic can and shit my brains out in it. And my fucking leaving the window open. I opened my fucking hatch on my turret and shit. Because once you get south of Baghdad, it's pretty quiet on Route Tampa. And we were south of like Scania, so it was really fucking nothing, dude. Those guys, there wasn't anything south of Scania at all, dude. I think there was like one IED at south of Scania the whole time we were there. Anyway, so I'm fucking shitting my brains out in this fucking can, and we get done, and we shared a motor pool with like I think they were like Mississippi National Guard or some shit. We shared a motor pool with them. 39th BCT, yeah, that was Mississippi or something like that. Anyway, I had a fucking dude at this ammo can, and they're like, "What are you gonna do with it?" And I was like, I don't know." And I just took this fucking. Well, I put it next to our Connex because every convoy escort team had a Connex, and that's where you put your fucking 50 cals and extra ammo and shit in the Connex. And I had this extra fucking. You know, we put an extra Connex, and it's fucking like July in Iraq's 130 degrees, fucking hot as shit. And my platoon leader was like, "Dude, you gotta get the fuck rid of that can." So I got it. I'd take care of it. I got you, sir. So I took it like down the fucking motor pool to like the 39th guys, and they were out. Their trucks were gone or whatever. So I put this fucking ammo can in front of their Connex box and just fucking left it. And the best part of that was this 40 mic can half full of fucking diarrhea. You know, it stewed in the fucking sun for weeks, and then somebody was like, "I wonder what's in this fucking ammo can." Popped her open, and that's got to be the best, the most hopeful thing I had in Iraq. So. Convoy security, dude. We had that Haji Mart. I got a case of Carbala Cola from that fucking dude for like $3 American. It was great. Oh, thanks, Leanne. I love you too. What the fuck? You walked into Saddam's revenge story. Fucking Connexes. Oh, those poor National Guard guys. I'm sure they got a mouthful. Anyway. All right, so that's the last story I'm gonna tell tonight. It's been fun. Oh yeah, and Keith got a new Harley, dude. You guys, next. Let's see, it's the 5th. Let me pull up my calendar here, not my actual the actual calendar, because I think we need to do another hobby night / funny thing. Let me pick a night that will do it. Why don't we do that the 26th? So 4 weeks from tonight, the 26th, that's the day before Thanksgiving. And I want to do another hobby night. Well, so what we do for those hobby nights is if you don't know, like I firmly believe that doing something helps kind of calm the demons a little bit, right? Especially for like mental health, right? Some people fucking crochet. Some people fucking do carpentry or drawing or make music or ride motorcycles or ride horses or fucking, yeah, happy birthday, David. Yeah, it is, dude. Fucking before I see you again, it'll be our birthday party, dude. Happy birthday. 250th, that's right. but everyone does something. I build little tanks and planes. There's some back there. Some people do photography. Some people do, like, they build computers, or they do like miniatures. They build Legos or whatever. What I like to do is give a platform to people that make and create things and show them off. I'll show some of my little planes and tanks. If you guys have music, motorcycles, fucking race cars, fishing boats, whatever you do, and you want to share any kind of hobby, anything that's not just of work. Oh, no, not work. Hobbies, something that you do to take your mind off nothingness. And if you crochet Afghans, throw some Afghans on there. If you, Jonathan, check out those hearing aids. Check them out. But so we'll do that on the 26th of November. That will be our hobby night. We will all hang out. So if you have stuff like that, send it to me. Either send it to the radio page or whatever. Keith, fucking dude, send out all of them in. Send all your hobbies in. If you do graphic design, if you do here's the only thing I don't want to have is like inappropriate pictures. I want stuff that I can share with other veterans, that we can put on here, that we can share with each other. Look at what we've done. Let me see some of the stuff. Hopefully it's not anything from before. Guys like make fucking make booze, make shoes, clean shoes. Coach clean shoes. Like he rebuilds fucking he rebuilds like Nike shoes and shit, right? So like that stuff is cool. Like and show me that shit, dude. Show me that shit. Bring that up. I want to see that, and I want to share it with everyone else, because sometimes it takes that to maybe spur something in somebody. Like, okay, like My Little Planes. I built model airplanes way back, dude. I was a fucking kid. And somebody somewhere, okay, how this all started. When I was in the Wounded Warrior Project, or, AW2. And I was at Fort Shelby, or not Fort Shelby. I was at Shelby for a minute. What's that place? Augusta, Fort Gordon. I was at Fort Gordon there I was in the Wounded Warrior Barracks there. And there's some, I don't remember what they were called now, but they like gave us moccasins. It was just like 2 pieces of leather with some holes in it. And you had to like make these moccasins. They were pretty cool. I don't know. I made them. I was bored. I didn't fucking nothing else to do. But doing something with your hands, there's something about that like frees the space in your brain. I don't know. There's a bunch of shit that does that. And that just disconnects and helps clarify. And yeah, your fucking Speedo collection, dude. As long as your dick is in your Speedos, if that's how you want to be, dude, I don't fuck. I still want to see your dick. But yeah, dude, send that shit in. We'll fucking hook it up. Send your bike in. If you're doing some cool stuff to it, like, fuck yeah, dude, share that. And I want to get some. I'm kind of talking to a friend of mine who's in the Combat Vets Motorcycle Association, and a couple other friends of mine who ride with groups. I want to get them in and talk about some of that stuff too. Got a friend of mine who's really good friend of mine who's in the Patriot Guard Riders, pushing stuff like that, because those are good groups. The Legion Riders, I have some really good friends who are in the Legion Riders. Like, stuff like that really helps be part of a group. I think that's something that, a lot of us lack, is that sense of community that can come from being in the military and from being part of these groups. So anyway, I'm going to do some housekeeping stuff tomorrow night. You listen to me right here, Radar. I'm here every week. Try to be here every week. Tomorrow is Sergeant's Time with Ice Spanky. They'll be doing some sergeanting stuff. Friday night is Day of No Scheduled Activities. Saturday night, are they doing the gamer stuff this weekend? Keith, I don't know if they are or not. Sunday night is a Dawn's a Day. Monday is the Monday edition, aptly named because the edition happens every Monday. Ice will be there, talk some shit. Then Tuesday is Pop Culture Warrior with CQ. And then Wednesday is a doubleheader with the sports book or sports bar early, and then the smoke pit late. So, yeah, I have no idea what to do with the bike first. Yeah, it's like a blank canvas, absolutely. And that's the fun part about owning a Harley. It's like and same with like custom cars, dude, classic cars. You know, there's no really wrong way to do it. If you want to fucking paint it purple and fucking do burnouts, it's your fucking bike to do what you want. That's the cool thing about it. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. I will see you guys next week. I really do. I thank you for being here. I don't know if you guys know how much it means to me. So, I listen to my bullshit stories. So, but love you guys. I will talk to you later. Shots.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Well, I guess I was born with a gun in my hand. We'd walk the big clear cuts in the pine timberland. Well, the army man told me that I could defend the free. Oh, and draw me a paycheck and get a tech school degree. I said, hey now, Sergeant, that sure does sound fine. Well, the sawmill ain't hiring. Tell me, where do I sign? Won't you light a lantern for me? I'll be gone, but not long. Won't you keep a candle burning? Won't you leave the porch light on? And they still hold a gun, and it's the suit of a soldier for your southeastern son. Well, tell Mom not to worry, if she's taking it hard. Never thought I'd see action back when I joined the Guard. Well, all this will be over more later than soon, as I wrote in a letter beneath the big Afghan moon. Won't you lie?